What up, boys and girls? So, you guys can obviously hear Dougie crying in the background because I had to put him in his cage because, again, he's untrained. So not only is he peeing all over the place because he has room to run around, so he makes himself, he does whippets, runs around the place, makes himself crazy, then drinks all this water, and then I find a giant puddle of pee. Uh, but I mean, I get it. He doesn't get a lot of running room. That's really not on him. But he's running around marking shit, and that is just unacceptable. Just, I mean, come on, people, train your animal. So I love Dougie, but it's the last 24 hours have been really fucking frustrating with him. Um, and frustrating that I'm like, this shouldn't be going down like this. Why is it? And now I'm angry about it, and I feel bad for Dougie's predicament. Look, empathy is a thing, people. It is. Let's put this over here. I managed to get coffee. Dougie went out at what, from 5:45 to about 6:20. Comes back, pees in the house. That's just, I don't know what to do with that. I don't really know what to do with that. Like I said, doing favors for people should not cost you. That needs more sugar in it. All right, you know what? I'm going to put more sugar in this coffee. Will you please give me, let's see if we can get this thing up. Come on, come on, come on, come on. How come it never checks my face? Come on. That's what the point of this thing is for. All right, give me, let's say 20 seconds should do it. Of course, it's not going to do it. We need more like, yeah, not that much coffee. Let's go 40 seconds to get some sugar in this coffee, and we will kick it. Ooh, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the world. There was a building collapse in Miami, and people are like, oh, how could this happen? But, thank you. But you realize, let's put this here. You realize that people have been complaining that building has had issues since the 80s. So what, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010, 2000, it's like 40 years, 80s, 90s, 2010s. I'm sorry, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. We're in 2020. It's about 40 years. Yeah, it's about 40 years. I thought I cut this off. What are you doing? Let's turn the volume up on the ringy dingy. We've got water. Oh, still's got ice in it. It's always nice. Magic of keeping ice, fill it with ice cubes, like as much as you can, and just a little bit of water. Not a little bit, but like slowly melts over a couple of days. It is awesome. So Dougie Doug is in his kennel. I'm having issues with HAPS too. It's signing me out of stuff, and I have to re-sign back in every time. That doesn't feel good to me. So yeah, Dougie's in a crate now, which I hate doing, but I need at least an hour to do this without thinking, what is he doing in the other room? Is he doing something ridiculous? And of course he is. He's marking him. Mentally exhausted. Mentally exhausted. What a day. Building collapse. Here's another thing about that. You have the cops there, hazmat teams doing, but there's like 20 of them on this giant pile of rubble where people are slowly dying. What you need, what you should have done, is got all the men in the community to start taking these rocks away. The ones that you can. I know that some of them are like big chunks. And also the people who put this building up, they're going to give you stupid talk about the things that you should not care about. What you should care about is who put that building up and why it fell down and why they're not arrested. Once you have like money in America, the only people that ever sent to jail are the poor. That's it, right? You're very familiar with the poor black scenario, but a lot of poor white kids go to jail too. Uh, I mean, the whole Hollywood Me Too rape thing is part of it. The whole television news industry rape thing, CBS, NBC, ABC, right? The whole, we're just not going to talk about Epstein anymore. The whole thing is just corrupt AF. And once you owe these people favors, hey, don't put that on TV. Hey, we did this thing right by you with this money or that thing. And then before you know it, you owe friends, and whatever should have been going on here with the public and the populace isn't. And it just becomes ways for them to bury each other's secrets and stay in the money. And they do that by telling you everything's going to fall apart. And it's those black people coming, or it's those Mexicans coming, or it's these immigrants coming. And when all shit is going to hell around them, then they tell you, oh, look at what this celebrity's doing, right? It's always watch this hand while I do this with the other hand. And once you get onto them, it's another distraction for you. Right. We're going to hold an investigation. 8 months later, you just get tired of waiting for investigation. You never know what happened with the investigation because there was never an investigation. The bad guys get to keep doing it. Bad women get to keep doing it. America, China is eating our lunch. And all these ridiculous old country club golfer type politicians with their new lineage of bullshit hipsters are going to be the end of us. It really is. So I fully expect a second civil war to come to this country. And while that's happening, I'm going to be playing my guitar. I mean, even Dougie, you know how simple it is it's your dog. It's your responsibility. Why get him? Ugh. And everybody expects to be right. Everybody phones it in. Everybody expects it to work out, though. None of this shit's working out. When I look at guitarists and their hands, my hands, I'm going to show you my palm. I've got scars on my palms, are pudgy. Their hands are lean. And like even their forearms are like veiny and just kind of like from years of, flipping the wrist and leaning, trying to get fingers in, as well as, yeah, man, I want some of that. All right. I feel so bad he's crying in there. I don't blame you, Dougie, but I can't fucking be wiping down everything because they're pissing on it. I mean, you train your dog not to pee in the house, obviously. But marking is a different thing entirely. That's one of the first things you train dogs not to do. All right. All right. I feel bad. I tried to play with him. He doesn't like his toy. I mean, I spent all day yesterday. I know all his problems. If he was my dog, I want to say he's like 3, maybe 4. It's not too late for him. You could save Dougie. But by the time Dougie is 6 or 7, he's going to be growly and angry and barky and might be bitey. And then you got to put him down when he bites somebody. And I've seen this happen before. Everybody's like, I don't know what happened. You know what happened? You didn't fucking train your dog and he bit somebody. It wasn't out of nowhere. Same thing with people and their sons. Fucking raise your son not to be a dark figure just because he sees it on TV. And then when the cops show up looking for him, it's, what? Not my son. Yeah, your son. He's got a whole history of neighborhood nonsense. Your daughter has a whole history of neighborhood nonsense. Everybody always knows who the players in the community are, who does the work and who does not. free range people. It's a fucking ridiculous idea. But that's all right. You want to be free range when you're Chinese. I mean, they can invade. What are they going to do? Take the money? What if we don't give it to them? Then it's war. They've got a lot of people. We've got a lot of people. Our ordinance is better than their ordinance. I'm pretty sure. But we're going to have to put it to the test. All these fat old generals taking over protests. What has happened to America, baby? I think there's got to be a class of people who are serious. I don't buy any of the new people. Maybe one of them will become serious. It's amazing. I think I'm going to, well, if this 9/11 thing doesn't get me, I think if I live to be an old dude, the country will not be, it might still be called America, but it's not the same country. Good Lord. I mean, it's impossible to get an education here unless you're a foreigner. A dying foreigner. They took my job. All right, so yeah, I gotta tell you, man, I'm really wigged out by that building falling down. That whole thing just started. I was like, this is not like what that happens even as there are infrastructure talks. And 3 years ago, a bridge fell down. I want to say in Minneapolis, right? I mean, and then the media just kind of glosses over it one story and goes back to, oh, look who's dating who. Like, this is what you really need in your life. It's all distractions while they essentially raid the coffers of city treasuries, state treasuries, and the national treasury. I think when this whole thing is revealed for what it is, I wonder where everybody's going to skip off to in their private jets. I got big money on Israel and England. A lot. But I think you're going to find some people are just traders, and they're going to be in Russia and China and Iran going, we fucking told you so. We have people in your system. But that means squat, because the country is about the people, right? And there are 340 million of us who are going to have to figure this shit out, because countries are generally run by about 5,000 people, right? How big the country is. China may have more. And then it runs on a healthy sense of paranoia, like someone's always listening to you, so you always do the right thing. But every now and then, they need a mole hunt. When's the last time we had a mole hunt? Anybody know what a mole hunt is? I have a very interesting sense of what I think the American is, right? Maybe I'll tell it to you one day. You want to hear it now while we goof around with the guitar? You're not supposed to give up where you came from. No one ever does that anymore. They fly both flags. Like, what? We don't have militaries that traipse around with two flags, right? And then when you start talking about here and the lineage here, they don't want to hear that. They want it to be Europe, right? They talk about European, like this, when we were having this pandemic, they were talking about European rates, right? And they don't mind doing that. But when you talk about healthcare, they don't want to talk about European healthcare. So they pick and choose when they want to embarrass you with Europe. But I'm never embarrassed by it. My whole position is planes leave here every day, be on one, right? The American, Donald Trump was right about one thing. America, what did he say? America exceptionalism, something or other. What did he say? But he essentially said the same thing that other people have said about not kind of undoing your own populace or another group's populace for political global brownie points. And I think we sort of done that. All these jobs in China, and they're only making like $1 an hour, but they don't have to pay you $30 an hour. I had a dog, I told you, a few years back, 10 years ago. And I remember one of the stories out of China where they were putting drywall in the dog food. I was like, I'm not buying anything out of China ever again. And for like 5 years, I tried to only buy American. Almost impossible. Like, so everything I buy is openly American, right? My car is an American car. I wear Nikes. I don't wear Adidas. Adidas come out of Germany. I wear Nikes. They come out of California. I wear Levi's jeans, right? Comes out of California from the gold rush of the 1840s, right? 40s, 50s. when they start this thing. So yeah, I figure that way at least I pay a little more for, but at least the extra few pennies may go to Tom and Helen, Jones, who work at the Levi company in their salary. And people always say, oh, what? It's made in America. This Subaru is made in America. I'm like, shut up. That Subaru's headquarters is in another country. What? They're leaving all the money here in America? No, they're not. You better watch the double talky, triple talky, nonsensory bullshittery that people throw at you when they want some money, and the money comes from I would call a problematic to dire sources, right? We gave all this stuff to fucking China. That was problematic 25, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Now it's dire, right? And all the other stuff about buying a Subaru, that's just problematic. That's not dire. All right, so let's get into this guitar thing. Oh, Dougie, man, you're in there howling. You're making me crazy. I'm making myself crazy. I'm talking politics on my guitar stream. Guitars, people. Here we go. Coffee? Yes. Why not? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to run through these chords to get them on the metronome like we've been doing for the last few days, because I am problematic. You know what? I'm not going to leave them in there forever. It's 16. I want Perhaps you need to fix your house. Um, I want to at least get 40 minutes, an hour in of guitar practicing while he's in there. And then I'll let him out and see how he does. But trust me, he's going to do horribly. I would train him. I would do it for free. But here's the thing. I can't reinforce good things until you undo them when you get them home. See what I'm saying? And people get rich and get ridiculous. That McAfee internet billionaire guy just killed himself in a Spanish prison because he couldn't come back here where he's from because he was going to do a trillion years for tax evasion, right? Then he goes to the Caribbean, lives in a giant house, no extradition treaty, living like a billionaire, kills his neighbor over their dogs, flees to Europe because they're going to throw his ass in jail. He just killed somebody. Lands in Europe, I guess, hangs out in places where there are no extradition. So they tell me, I could be wrong. Look this up yourself. I don't want to get it wrong. And then ends up in a place where there is extradition, Spain. And America's like, hold that son of a bitch. And then he'd use all his giant money and all, he's a billionaire. Lawyers played games forever. And eventually the games had to stop being played. And they were like, all right, extradition is extradition. Put that man on the plane back to where he's from. And he killed himself in jail. Even though he was tweeting. I don't understand how he had I don't know, man. The environment is so goofy. It's so ridiculously goofy. I have since given up trying to be a productive part of it because it's stupid, right? It's not just the emperor has no clothes. It's everybody in the town is fucking ridiculous too. So leave the town. I find myself a man with no political party up in the hinterlands. And if you walk by quietly in this mental picture I'm painting you, you can hear me strumming bad chords on a guitar, wafting on the midnight breeze at you. I'll be the dude that they tell the kids about, like, oh, there's a boogeyman up there playing a horrible guitar. He'll get you. He'll make you listen to political speak. And the kids are like, no, Bobby, I don't want to hear about how America fell in the 2020s. Having in Miami, looking at the population is all Spanish. Did a show about that. When did that happen? The 80s. It used to be all black. It's hard for people to keep caring about you when you fuck them over. So when horrible shit happens to you and there's no sympathy from them when horrible things happen to them, there's not going to be much sympathy from from your side to that side. Well, whoever doesn't really have any empathy for the other side, when something bad happens to the opposite other side, there won't be any uh, sympathy or empathy for that, essentially, right? What you want is even enumerations. What am I thinking about here? What word am I looking for? Oh, Dougie. I'm gonna blame these bad keys on you, Dougie Doug. All right, so see, we were almost there yesterday. We had some Dougie issues, but we were almost there yesterday. Oh, did we say we're gonna do it like this? We said we're gonna do it like this. That way we can move this whole thing down a little bit. Man, these fingers are weak sauce. A, G, okay, D. That was E rather, G. This is D. And we go back to A. And Dougie's not a big dude. Dougie is just small. He's easily dealt with, easily trained. But is it gonna rain today? It was humid AF. Chauvin sentencing is today. I'll bet you hard paper he can get anywhere from 40 years to probation. That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, why would you get probation for something that you could get 40 years for? Would somebody give me a scenario where that's possible? I think they give these ridiculous things just in case their homies get found guilty of it by the populace, and they can go, man, we're going to give you $1,000 fine and we're going to put you on 10-year probation. And people are like, what? He killed somebody. Meanwhile, that guy that they think killed somebody who doesn't know anybody, they're like, oh, we don't have any proof and you're guilty till proven innocent, but you're going to sit the next 3 years in jail while we figure it out. There's that thing about judges giving you harsher sentences right before lunch because they're hungry. If you know that's a thing, that's not justice. You should fix that. Don't fix anything because they rigged it so the people who are the problem at the top of the chain never get arrested for shit. And when they do, they never go to jail for anything. So if you really fix it, they be in the mix with you and me. Right? Those senators who were making money off the stock market, it's insider trading. No one goes to jail. Right? But what's his name? Went to jail on a tax beat for like 5 years. People are tired. People want a fair day, man. And nobody likes to be fucked over. And I think this is the thing. Now, look, we're humans. Revenge is a thing. Right? It's not just watching people get their comeuppance. Someone has to give them their comeuppance. So it's a layered onion here. I mean, I try not to take revel in people's demise because I think it affects my mental state. But I'm not stupid. I know that some people should get theirs because they're bad for the environment. They're bad for the community. They make you trying to get from point A to point B in the world harder, right? Oh, this is these two. And you don't want that. But the problem, there are crooks in politics and they stay around. But the crooks trying to take your wallet, you want them all removed. The guy taking your wallet is problematic in the community, but he does less damage than a problematic politician. I mean, seriously, we shouldn't have racism anymore. That's just... And then you got all these clubs openly starting racist shit. Come on now. The media tells you who the good guys and the bad guys are and keeps being wrong. The last good guy was Bernie Sanders, people. Seriously. Jimmy Carter's a good guy, building houses for people. Before him, a million years ago, there was Ralph Nader who got seatbelts in all the cars. even though the motor company was like, you know how much that's going to cost us, right? He got them to stop making gremlins, which were rolling explosives, essentially. Um, but remember, the medical industry gets away with it. Remember thalidomide babies? No, you don't. Because you know that Kim Kardashian is dating a new boy. That's what's more important. We need education. We need healthcare. We need bank reform. We need real estate reform. And we need to do something about this racist shit. It's been going on for far too long. I know, Dougie. What time is it? It's only been 26 minutes. I'm technically over my limit. Yesterday was the first show where we didn't do 20 minutes because Dougie, I don't want to blame him, but Dougie was on a tear. Anybody who watched yesterday's show, oh, good Lord, he's such a cool dude. I am not conflicted. I love me some Dougie Doug. And I'm not angry. I love his family. There's some situations that I just can't like. I feel the same way about NASA. I'm like, why would you keep giving these people fucking money to shoot shit into space? And now these private organizations have come through and embarrass you. That tells me that you've been off pace for decades. For decades. It's not like you said, oh, what, they do that, we're going to flip this and match them because we're the government. No. It's old, stupid laziness, sitting in government positions, doing none of what you promised you do. We should be on Mars already. And now we got a Canadian talking about building a hyperline under California, which is ridiculous. Just because California shakes, you know. Oh my God. So if you have an earthquake and it collapses on these tunnels, why'd you build them in the first place? When this was going on, the first thing that jumped into my head was this is a stupid idea. And apparently, no one cared. I mean, do you want to be under a pile of rubble in a subway? I'm pretty sure you don't. Why? I mean, New York has a subway, but New York doesn't shake. Could Miami have a subway? I think it floods. So no, I don't think so. Who else has subways? Boston, the Northeast, right? Uh, doesn't shake. It gets cold, but that's all right. I don't think there are subways on the East Coast of America. What do I know about Oregon? I know that there are underground passageways in Minneapolis because it's cold AF there in like August, but Minneapolis doesn't shake. All through the interior of the country, it's really lying on a lava bed. So could you do anything there? It doesn't really shake, but the winds come through. Maybe. Well, there's not a lot of people. You need subways. Part of that is a lot of people in your. So maybe you wouldn't have a lot there. But could you? A giant lazy ass underground subway going from like upwards of Canada down through Mexico, where it doesn't shake and it doesn't flood. Well, Texas has been flooding. The same kind of route that they used to drive the cattle through. Anybody know anything about American history and how they used to move food before they put it all on fucking tankers from China? Oh boy, I'm in my head about this. I think Dougie has somehow hit another nerve that bounced over to my political what the frickness, which I'm trying to tone down because it was making me angry. I was angry over the lack of progress. All right. See, I was angry that they didn't stop the racism. A, this is a G. I was angry that I was feckless in this situation. I couldn't have done anything. I was like, man, I should have went and got that law degree all those years ago instead of doing X, Y, or Z. I still think about it, and I was like, maybe I didn't do my part. Maybe I should be more educated. Maybe I should do this, that, there. You know how your mind works. But now you're like, oh, I'm too old. I can't go back to this. I'm not going to be a legal scholar. I was never going to be a legal scholar anyway. But But that doesn't mean that you don't know what's going on. And it doesn't mean just because they have college educations, they know what's going on. C A E G C A G E D. Right, this is D. Slide that down a little bit. So, I mean, good Lord, I don't want Dougie marking my guitar. I mean, when he's out, I generally have to watch him, tell him no a lot. No, stop. You only understand the high pitched tone of stop, not high pitched, but like, a raised voice. Because I think every time he does something, someone raises their voice, so he knows enough that means I should get off of what I'm doing. But he doesn't know sit, he doesn't know stay, he doesn't know. You don't need to teach your dog roll over or paw. That's bull. Teach your dog actual things that they need. You need sit, you need stay, you need come here, you need drop it, right? You need those. He doesn't know any of those. I had to teach my dog to calm down. She was so hyper. I say, sit, calm down. Lay down. What are you doing? Lay down. She'd lay down. Then I love her up, but tell her, calm down. Calm down. She understood no. And then eventually she was just kind of like, oh, man. And I play video games. And she'd lay up under my feet. So then I would put her bed under my feet. And then she would either lay on my feet or I'd rest my feet on her. And she'd go to sleep. And as soon as I was tired of gaming and I tried not to wake her up and I sneak away, she was instantly alert. Like her eyes would go, boing, we're doing something? Are we doing something? We're doing something, right? We're doing something. I'm like, I'm just going to the bathroom. She's like, but then we're doing something, right? All right, so we'll take a walk, go stretch your legs, think about like the aliens you killed or the bad guys you caught or whatever the case may be, how you escaped the dungeon. And then you come back with her after 40 minutes and you see if your man is still online and if he wants to kill any more Zerg. Some people just want a small, happy American life. It should be allowed to happen. Now you can't even buy a house because all these giant corporations are buying up all the houses so they can permanently rent to you forever. It's how they undermine the American dream while you worship them. They're going to lock it down so hard that American politicians will be employees of these billionaire, trillionaire, rather, companies. Don't let them march. You guys can't march. It's gonna be violence, and I don't think it's gonna be like the movies where there'll be these safe havens for the rich to chill. It's not the way America works. There are too many guns here, and too many open heads without helmets for anybody to claim themselves king of this land. And you got enemies who just walk over the border. They're not all Mexicans. Remember, Al Qaeda came through Canada. And the only reason they didn't come through Mexico, I think what the report said, it was they would like stood out like a sore thumb, right? But Canada, immigration from Afghanistan is common, not to Mexico though. Isn't that crazy? So they just hopped on planes and then did us in. Well, they didn't do us in. They woke us up. Quite amazing. And since then, people have been scaring you with terrorism for 30 years. And mind you, that was the second bombing. Remember the 1993 World Trade Center bombing? I remember that. And you gave them a second run at it to drop both buildings. So many people should have been arrested and carted out of the Pentagon. No one ever pays a price. This is why I think it gets worse. Now we're extra super fucked. But I really do think that we will be sort of snatched over by someone in the military, someone out of that building, because it's not going to be somebody on Wall Street. And the American military is not going to let the place fall into the sewer. They're going to go away. We've had just about enough of this. Now the question is, will it become Myanmar or will they save us and reinstall the constitutional principles of what we're supposed to be doing. And God only knows what that is, because nobody knows. We're so far off our mark. The only thing that the founders had that we still have is race issues, right? Don't tell me about treaties when your treaties can be manufactured by corporate America, so they don't have that. Don't tell me about any of the other stuff. Perpetual wars. Don't tell me that they were for that. I think it's your freedoms, your guns. Even though the gun situation is different, they were talking about muskets, not AR-15s. But I'm still for your right to have as many as you want. Just like cars, you can have as many as you want, but once you excuse my language, once you run over one kid with it, you blow one light and hurt one. It doesn't matter how many cars or whatever you got. You have to answer for that. And these people who have gun lockers with 1,000,000 guns, okay, as long as they're safely stored, you can keep them, you can collect them, right? Why not? But when you start threatening people, showing up to political rallies with your AR-15 is when you should be arrested. And you're not, because these cops are cowards. At these rallies, if you want to pull out your pith helmets and your flak jackets and your MP5s, I'm talking about the cops at the Black Lives Matter rally. But then when white people show up with their Proud Boy hats and their QAnon nonsense and their AR-15s, you need to focus on them, but they never do. They want to shoot it out with you, right? No, it's always Bull Connor, kind of nonsense. And the federal government should have stopped that a long time ago. Instead, our leaders today are just refighting the Civil War. So I say, let's fight it. Let's fucking win it. Actually, they won it the last time. Let's be clear. They're still doing evil stuff to people. And put it behind us, because I'm telling you, China is going to eat our lunch and have been eating our lunch. And Biden has been their waiter. Good Lord. How do you take money from your enemy? How you importing stuff from them, giving them money to buy bullets, while you talk shit about them and our political system? Where's that? I just dropped it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. All right. You got these guys in our political system, but you're doing business with them. It's like selling the Nazis shit while you were like fighting them. It doesn't make any sense to me. And no one has been able to have it make sense to me. All right. 38 minutes. I'm doing more talking about politics than the guitar. But that happens sometimes, right? Sometimes we're just strumming and talking whatever about music or politics, and that's good. We talked a little about Dougie, right? We talked a little bit about national politics, a building collapse. We talked, let's talk elections. So there's a New York mayor race, and I'm an ex-New Yorker, but I am for Eric Adams. I find it interesting that none of the police unions endorsed them. What does that tell you, black people, about your police departments in New York City? I'd say 10 years ago, black people should stop cooperating with the police department, period, and see how fast the situation shifts. I'm not saying it's going to get better. I'm not saying it's going to get worse, but shifts. Because what's going on now is it's only liked by one group, and you can't have it. You can't have your kids murdered off as they go to school. That Ramarley Graham thing still is just crazy. And then have them and their unions, who they pay campaign contributions to, kind of subvert justice. This is what police unions do now. They side with racists and they subvert justice. And that's not me pulling smoke out of my butt. I mean, some of these unions have been investigated before, and every time something super bad happens, it's always somebody up the chain messing around with the paperwork, which you could look. It's conspiracy, right? If someone's murdered, for instance, who's the guy that they say he got into an accident and killed himself, and the airbags didn't even go off, and whoever up the chain marked that off are guilty, right? Not just the cops on the scene, but the bosses, and then the people who comes out and tell you this at the press conference. If they didn't know about it, they're uh, pushing a lie. And when it's found out that it's a lie, they should want to know who down the chain did it. And they don't. They don't. They just want to tell you how, crime is up. The cops are being mistreated. What are you talking about? The cops are being mistreated. Have you not? Do you not know American history? And do you not know recent American history? And it's like, it's, the thing is, stop hurting us. And they're like, no, we're not going to stop hurting you. So, all right. Useless Democratic Party. Mm. Better. All right. That was fun. See, I guess this is what you do when you're sitting by her. You just go, oh, what does this sound like with that? Oh, what does that sound like with this? And this is where, see, that was good. That was fiddling. We want to get good at fiddling. I think that was my first fiddle, right? So what was I doing with this? This is to see. I was just trying to kind of just see how the notes sounded, fretted and unfretted together without the whole chord, right? Without the whole chord. Yep. But when I take my finger off of it, yep. Wow, man, yeah. I'm at this point. I'm staring at it. I've almost got the guitar like this, which is not what you're supposed to be doing. Come on, G. So that goes up. Pull this down. But if I pull this down, this is not going to sound either. Woo! I have the fattest, uncoordinated idiotist fingers, but that's all right. That's gonna. It's 5 to 8. God, Dougie. He's quiet. I feel bad about putting him in. It's like putting him in a cell, and he's not doing anything but being a dog. But I can't have you peeing on everything. If anybody's gonna mark anything in the house, it's gonna be me. Lordy, 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 lordy. The whole building fell down. I mean, come on. When is somebody going to be held accountable who builds shoddy shit like that? It's been a problem since the 80s. You should go and just grab them. Here's one thing I agree with about China. About 15 years ago, building a mall fell down there. The first thing they did was sent rescue crews. The second thing they did was rent to the architect and manufacturers and arrested people. Arrested people. One old dude had to be 80 with like, what? I was like, you know, it is what it is. You put up something that should stand the test of time and it falls down in 10, 15 years. That should end you. There are innocent people in there. And this is what America has always been. Uh, Not really caring about life, but worshiping money. It started with slavery, and you are not special. Right now, your children don't have as bright a future as they should have had because of all the graft and the bullshit. And the I can easily make you hate any other group because we've been doing it so long. Now you need people who are actually competent in government, and their voices can be silenced by giant corporations who flood them with money and airwave messages that are nonsense. Mm. It really is amazing. I will fall from grace if there ever was any grace. Dougie Doug Dugster. I guess you know what? I guess I'm like this because I don't want anybody to give up on me, and I don't like to give up on people. Everybody likes to be supported, but no one likes to support anyone. Uh, I hate hypocrites. That's the traitors, and that's where I'm at. I try not to be a hypocrite, but there's some hypocrisy in all of us, right? I try actively, if I spot it in me, to kind of address it. Um, I like the things I like, and I openly defend them publicly. And the things I'm scornful of, I openly, you know, heap scorn on. Right? I'm pro dog. I'm pro family. I'm pro America. I'm pro friendship. Pro country. Pro neighbor. Pro dog. Pro cat. Uh, I'm pro weather. I like the environment. Um, Pro birds, just like to watch the birds fly. Pro clouds, who's not pro clouds? Just sit back on the grass and watch the blue sky, fluffy white clouds go by. It's a nice moment away from the working and the bosses and the filing of paperwork and not even cutting. I don't mind cutting grass or mowing lawns, right? That's part of the thing. But yeah, I mean, somewhere in here, there has to be a way for you to sort of flush out all the noise that we get every day. Um, and to think about what we was taught if it's still viable and valuable. Like I was talking to this race stuff. I mean, 100 years ago, people thought that they were superior, and first of all, they thought they were Christian too. They were doing bad stuff. But now you're not superior. We're all the same. You're supposed to be Christian. Why aren't you better? So yeah, American Christian has also sort of let down America with what they thought were what they allowed under the name of God, right? So like the Catholic Church. And when people call you on it, all of a sudden they're attacking God. No, I'm not attacking God. I'm attacking you and your bullshittery. Um, One day these organizations are going to be honest, but right now I think they're just standing places where bad guys can come and take a run at taking over versus building it from scratch, right? I once told somebody, you didn't change the flag or the borders of America, but we're not the same country. But we'll see what we get. Maybe we will be better because I know a lot of people in the hinterlands are like, what the fuck is going on here? My favorite is that they don't think people are going back to work because they're making too much money on unemployment. How much unemployment is paying people? And how long is this going to last? Right? So if you're paying people $10,000 a month in unemployment and they don't want to go back to work, I get that. Uh, but that's not what's going on here. And now you're going to throw all these Americans out of work. And when you start protesting, you'll just call them socialists or lazy or something to keep this weird narrative going of a quite frankly, a weird sort of, I don't know. I got Dougie on my mind, man. I'm not going running. I'll start that next week. God, when I start running, I have to stop drinking and start exercising. And yeah, I'm going to start that with Dougie. Dougie's not here. Uh, I don't like him in the cage. But I'm telling you, he's walked, he's empty, he's fed. He'll zoom around here and just start whizzing on everything. Oh, you know what I'll look up today before the evening show? I'll look up some pinky kind of like, because these here, I was I was gonna say these are coming along nicely, but you've been watching, so I can't say that. These, let's just say that these are coming along. But we have to attack our weaknesses, and our weaknesses is the pinky. Our weaknesses is the strumming, and our weaknesses is timing to metronome. Those three are still big. I took a picture of when I said we were going to have it fixed, and I said that was 6 weeks ago, about 4 days ago. So we still have a few weeks to attack it. I want to be ahead of the game, so hopefully we can have this done in a month with 2 weeks to spare. Uh, if this takes me actual 6 weeks, um, I don't know what to tell you. I may not be able to be a journeyman bluesman because my rhythm is bad. Maybe I'll be a journeyman ukulele player. I'll be a journeyman something. It's Friday. Dougie, it's Friday. If I bring him in there and close the door, why am I stressing about this dog? He can stay there. All right. I'm not gonna stress about it. I'm not gonna stress about it. I love dogs. I love children. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love comic books. I love an interesting yarn, a fanciful tale. I'm beginning to be over coffee again. We gotta somehow attack this guitar. We have to get it. Oh man, I forgot all about this stool. All right, Dougie. I'm not gonna let you out. I'm gonna get through 10 minutes of this without thinking about you, Dougie. And we're just gonna do chords, and we're gonna do them cleanly. Get your guitars out, people. Here we go. I know I said cleanly, but that was not my fault. Pay a lot of attention to this D G string because it's always your problem. How do I do this cleanly and not stay on? See, this is what it would look like if I did this super slow, but this is super uncomfortable. Okay, we were working the metronome yesterday, just moving our fingers to remember where the chords were. That was good. We were on metronome, and we agreed that it was not going to be super neat and super precise. We just wanted to make sure we remembered where the C was. Excuse me, where the C was. That's the C. Where the A is. This is the A. Remember that? This is the A. Where the G was. This is the G. Thank you, G. Where the E was. This is the E. And where the D was. This is the D. Right? Yeah. Right. This is the D. All of those were disgusting and messy and sloppy and not awesome. But we know where they were, right? We fused them into our brain over 2 hours. We know where these 5 chords are. 2 hours of the 4 hours and a half that we ran yesterday. So we know what those are. What we really do need to do, honestly, is work on our pinky strength and work on our precision. Because these things, I mean, granted, we've only been doing this a month, but these things should be ringing cleaner. I have to look up how. I gotta. I am not above going to the Guitar Center and asking some of those guys, can you help me with some fingering positions? I'll give you $20. Okay. All right. So, the Ravens. The Ravens. This finger. It's this finger. It's always muffling the G key. It's not a tick. What is it? It's a bad habit. What am I doing wrong here? Other than it wrong. Other than doing this wrong. So maybe I need to. I don't even know how to. Maybe I'll try it like this. Maybe I can yell. Oh, wow. All right. So today I'm obviously feeling my fingertips, which is amazing because normally I can just play through it. What is going on? Oh, the sun has began to come up. I've been up since about 5, dreading this day with Dougie. 5:45. Okay, I'm due to take him out at 9:30. He doesn't need to go out, but now I'm paranoid about him. So I will probably take him out at 9 for another 20 minutes. See, my dog was always on a schedule, and now I'm sort of winging a schedule with Dougster. Put that here. Move this here. Move this here. Tilt this at me. Hello, microphone. Put my feet up, sweet Jesus. And try this again. Wrong place. Oh, you know what? A trillion years ago, I was fiddling with the guitar, and I had a guitar teacher. I must have took maybe 2 months of courses with him, right? I found the way he spoke to me, not like he was disrespectful. Uh, I wasn't understanding what he was saying, right? So he obviously knew a lot about guitar. And he was talking modes and this and that. He was obviously good, but the way he was coming, the information was coming at me was sort of fast and furious. And I felt, quite frankly, I felt in my head about it. I felt like I wasn't smart enough. Not smart enough, but just kind of like subconsciously. Now I can say I felt not out of my element because I was out of my element, but I felt that okay, logically now he wasn't conveying the information correctly to the student, but I also felt sort of like I was in a room of people in Brooks Brothers suits and fancy dressed as like a clown. I felt like I stood out a lot with how bad I was, and I wanted to retreat and come back a little better. Or right, so that's kind of thing. What I needed was, I guess, a guitar teacher on my level who could speak to me in a way. And like I say, he never disrespected me, but like his language just made me feel like he might well have been. You ever been tutored at like calculus, something super hard, and they're talking about angles and you're like just kind of like, I felt like that. I felt like I would have had to take out a notebook and write down everything he said. Went home, excuse me, went home and looked up every word he said. Right, sort of like it was a Spanish course, a Spanish class or something. Um, but he was good. Uh, Now I'm lit with a new fire, and I'm coming at it hard from hard and free, uh, YouTube and other music platforms. A little bit here, a little bit there. Oh, this topic. Then I try to absorb as much as I can on that topic, and go, I don't understand what this is. I had a friend try to explain to me what modes were. I actually looked it up yesterday. Not modes. Looked up uh, what do they call them? Um, I guess maybe there are modes. I still don't understand modes, but I was looking up like uh, this. I want to call them scales, and there are like seven of them, right? And I finally was like, oh, they're A, C, like they just moved down one. It's C to C, D to D. And I'm like, and I was trying to figure out why you would need these scales. What would you use them for? And then the guy was explaining how you could riff in this scale and then hit a note to jump to another scale and then riff in that scale, right? So it's all these kind of very everything is so compartmentalized. Do, 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 do. But once you get it, it's like a kitchen. Like everything's in your kitchen is small. The cold stuff in the cold place, frozen stuff in the frozen place, uh, perishable stuff, bread box and bread in one place, canned goods over here, right? But once you get in there, you can freestyle this kitchen thing, right? I love to cook. So this is what this is sort of like in my head. I'm sort of interpreting this as sort of a once I get some of this, I can make simple eggs or some super complicated 12-course meal, right? So I guess simple eggs would be something I don't know how to plan anything, quite frankly. Would be something super simple that you could teach to like a new beginner, like some 5-year old whose arm is too big, and you can teach them a melody. Maybe what did we what are those songs that they always teach you as a kid when they're trying to teach you music in like first grade? I'm thinking like Pharaoh Jaka, right? But that's something we sang. But there was simple stuff that they had us try to play on the recorder, right? Versus all that super ridiculous, rock star fingering, right? Or classical Chopin moving on a piano, just like how do you know which keys he's touching? They're all either white or black, and it's amazing, right? So eventually you sort of figure out your own cooking, uh, how you cook on this thing. But right now, my cooking implements are just rickety, 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 rickety. Um, but that's fine because we're gonna get there. And one day we're gonna go, hey, taste this, and people are going, oh, that was horrible. Why didn't you bring that to the barbecue? But the next time they'll be like, ooh, that is really nice melody. This is really tasting really good to my ear. You've done really well. And you've progressed, just like you progress in cooking and driving. And if you exercise running or walking or climbing, you progress. And if you pick up an instrument, you will progress. That speech is mostly for me, but it's I think it's true of you too. All right, do we want to turn on this metronome? We've been up for an hour. That's good. I feel good about that. Everything after this is bonus material. Although it is 8:15, I know people do have to go to work. Um, Dougie. All right. If I walk him, he doesn't need to go because I walk. But if I walk him and he's fed, he's just gonna zoom around and then pee in a place, right? So I would. I want him out of the cage, but I'm going to have to stay with him to make sure he's not too much. Yeah, 9:30, 10 is like an hour. But if I take him out, he's just going to be too much. And if I come back, do all this thing, come back, I would have to put him in the cage again because he's still going to be too much. I think my only alternative is to what? Can't, because he was running around here. So if I'm here, if I move this, like if I do this on my phone the next show and move it to another room, he'll just wander in here and do something goofy when I'm not in here. Ah, Dougie Doug. Oh my God, I'm trying to outthink a dog and I can't. E D C A E G E G. It's supposed to be C A G E D. Back to C. Back to A. Back to A. Back to A. Is that right? I'm messing this up. I'm forgetting the chords. This is a C. This is definitely a C. The bottom string is open. I'm not even going to look at that chord written back, those charts written back there. That's open, right? So this is my C. E is muffled. Let's do it. Let's remember not to muffle the E string. So the bottom E string, I mean. Man, now I'm muffling the B string. Anyway, that's a C. That's a right. And I went right to G. This is an A, where I want to go. I'm going to have to do something about my meaty palm. This is the G that I keep sliding out of position. This is my E. Everything's open. All right. And this is my D. Then we go back to A. How do you not muffle that? I'm thinking it's going to eventually work and I'm going to fall in, but I keep muffling this and I don't know how to not muffle it. Back of the fret, like we always say, muffle E string or not stroke it, either one. It's the D key. Stand up a little straighter. All right. You know what? We need to find a query on this topic. All right. Is there a trick to not muffling guitar strings? All right. Stop muting strings. Why are my guitar strings muffled? The palm sits underneath the fretboard, which increases the mobility and the ability to stretch. Okay, I'll buy that. The fingers flatten out when you're playing notes on the 6th and 5th string. As a result, fingers will likely come into accidental contact with the wrong string. Yeah. He's telling me, how do you get rid of guitar string notes? How do I stop fingering from me the strings? All right, let's see. There. Use the tips to fret the notes. Try to curl your fingers a little when fretting. This will keep the flat part off other strings. So instead of reaching over and laying, I really need to make a concerted effort to do this, right? Versus trying to do this, I need to make a concerted effort to come down on it like a hammer. So like the piano string hammers, I guess that's technique. I guess I should stop crying about it and do the proper technique. All right, so it's can it be that simple? Can fingers be too fat for the guitar? Then you will develop a muscle memory in your hand, and your fingers go right to the correct place without thinking about it. So your fingers are not too fat to play guitar. You can do it. Just keep practicing. All right, all right. So what did we take out of that quick search? Let's stand up. All right, all right. While we look at these. All right. Da-da, 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 da-da. Da-da, 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 da-da. Oh, wait a minute, let's do that again. All right, so let's move this. Ouch. That's fine. I don't need another foot. Ouch. Whew. It's been a while since I did any yoga. Ooh. So I'm gonna de-sausage myself and yoga up. All that. We're dropping. Well, I'm not calling them bad habits, and I'm gonna say we're dropping them. We're just putting them on a shelf, one by onesies, while we pick up more guitar stuff. So, ooh, doggone dog. So we're going to slide back into our workout regimen because we've always had one since about 15 or 16. We're not putting on muscle or building up anything. We just sort of want to get our lungs and our body sort of moving again, right? Light workouts, like I said, a mile or two a day, walking or running it. A couple of minutes, 20 minutes or so a day, minimum of guitar. Good Lord, like I said, I've been drinking since the pandemic. So maybe we want to give that a slow roll down. Okay, you got to plug this in now. Bum, 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 bum. Let's do this. Uh-huh. So, yep. The wild and exciting adventures of nothing going on, man. Where did I put that? I wonder if this will work here. Come on. Perfect. Perfect. That's charging. All right. So, what were we talking about? We were talking about. Maybe I should switch guitars. We were talking about why I keep muting strings when I don't want to. So let's try that. They said I should be doing. I'm doing sort of like pressing my, but they want me to be like hammer-handed, like very tips of my fingers, very tips, versus sort of like the pad what I was doing, right? So the tips, but man, okay, all right. Well, let's see if we can. Let's lower this a little bit. Let's see if we can. That might be. There you go. Let's see if we can lower this a lot. Wow, you know how high over the guitar you have to be? I went from this. Let's put this in. So I went from trying to do this, right, to like trying to get way up on everything, like way, like I guess down here, especially spread this far apart at the back of the frets. But I'm not used to moving, so maybe that'll get the small increments of moving. I'll get better at. But hitting these things like this to keep like the bottom notes from ringing, like, can you even see that? No. So if I'm doing a C the way they want me to, here it is. It's like this high fingering position that's not supposed to touch anything back of the fret too, which hurts like the dickens, right on the tippy tip of your fingers. Who played like that? Look how far out you'd have to be. Oh, what? I don't see how that's even possible. But it is good to that I don't have fat fingers, and anybody can play. But the idea of this is just versus this, and I'm still touching the bottom strings. I can feel it. I don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, I understand, but that doesn't. How not to mute strings? There's got to be something. Well, I guess. All right, hold on. How to mute strings? Images. Some of it looks right up under. How in the blue blazes? I don't even know what to say. All right, so I mean, it looks like some of these are padded. Ooh, look at. It also helps to look at people's oh yeah. People's oh. It also helps to look at people's blisters on their fingers, so you get an idea of where their fingers are impacting and contacting the string. These pictures aren't helping. I mean, a couple of them did, but I mean, how to stop muting strings? How to stop muting strings? Um, avoid muting strings. These are all videos, right? Clean guitar playing, fretting hand. Oh, is he saying that's where the hand comes in contact with it?
So I want to share something.
What is this? All right, hold on. Let's mute this guy. All right. All right, that's not gonna work. I think I'm gonna have to find somebody and ask them. And this is another thing about guitar playing. Uh, sometimes you need somebody to show you some stuff, or you need to innovate. Shoot. All right. All right. I guess we are going to have to try. Shoot. All right. This reminds me of when I was running. Uh, I like I had my own gait. Then you talk to other people, and they're like, "Oh no, you got to run this way," and like you want to get like good lift as you're running, right? And you also want to get good like lift as, but eventually you're not really moving your legs up like running. You're sort of just kind of jogging. Your feet just barely come off the floor. You're really more working on uh uh shaking the easy fat loose, I guess. My head is out of frame. Working, I mean, everybody's always acting like when you try and get fit, you should be trying to get fit like a world class athlete. But all you really want to do is not even shock the system, but just kind of like wake yourselves up to like daily activity. Get rid of the low hanging pounds, the easy pounds to drop. Like once you start working out, you're definitely gonna uh, hit a certain level, right? But before you do that, you'll drop all the excess poo in your gullet, right? You'll drop all the excess water weight, and very quickly you might be down like 6 pounds, just in like a month, and then you'll be like, oh, I can't get to 50, but that natural low hanging 6 pounds or so that you shouldn't have on you in the first place. So I'm pretty sure I need to lose about. I'm 200 pounds now. I need to lose about 20 pounds. And I think that once I start moving, 5 or 10 pounds, not 5 or 10, but maybe like 3 to 5 pounds of that is, like I said, like alcohol weight, the sugar from it. Once I drop that and I drink a lot of water, I'll probably lose 5 pounds in like, you know, 10 days just from, you know, super hydration. And then I'll have to work to get the fat, that's on me, off me, and hopefully um, keep it moving. Okay, one thing at a time, though, right? Slowly getting better, not stressing about politics. She's gonna play the guitar. Gonna try and find a D&D group. Gonna do some more writing. Gonna do less criticizing. Gonna talk more hopeful, and we'll gauge where we're at in a year, right? Mm, 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 mm. All right, Dougie, I'm coming. Okay, straight up. That's that. Okay, straight up. Start the poem. Okay, straight up. I'm not gonna be able to do this every time. Actually, don't say that. I can't do this every time. That was actually better. I'm back to C. That hurt like the Dickens. It hurt a lot more than the way I was doing it before. So maybe the way I was doing it before should have been the way I'm doing it now. And maybe these 3 hour guitar sessions might have only been like 90 minutes because my hand would have been properly, actively hurting. Ugh. Do, 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 do. All right, let's do this with this. Remember, come and join us every day where we are learning the guitar. Um, we're not endorsed by anyone, but we're endorsed by everyone because everyone likes music. I'm so what is going on here? Okay. Um, political memes, man. Yeah, they're a thing. I need to shave. All right. So what what are we doing here? We have to work on our metronome. We've got the chords down, the 5 chords. Um, oh, I was learning the pentatonic like years ago, and he gave me all of them. And the only one I remembered, I thought it was the first one. Turns out it's the last one, right? It's like I've been doing it up here forever. Hold on. I'm sorry. I always do it. Hit that twice. Ugh. Nah, I can't do it for you. Ugh. Seriously? I see that already. It's just looking at this thing. I just needed not to do that. So I learned that, and it was something to play with while I was like, what am I ever going to do with this? And that is apparently supposed to be way down here. And another one is up here. It's anyway. So I think I'm going to relearn them on stream next week, just like we did this one by onesies. I know you're supposed to learn one and know what you do with it, but we're going to learn all of them, all down the fretboard, because it's like. As it gets higher. So we'll know those 12 notes, right? Here or so, and then here or so. I think the G, and then I forget the position. There are 5 positions, but we're gonna know all of them. Just like we're gonna know this. This all may seem like a half-hat. Think like this, like that kitchen scenario. So I came in with some chords. I put that in your cupboard. Then I'm coming over with the pentatonic next week. I'm gonna put that in your freezer, let's say. Then we're gonna know all the notes of these things, and those are gonna be like your condiments on your counter. So you'll be able to pick up some notes, and mix it with the pentatonic out the fridge, like get it getting hot, throw it on the stove, and make whatever. But it doesn't look like it doesn't look like we know what we're doing. But we're learning some stuff. Doesn't look like we know what we're doing. But we, mind you, I don't want to be smug about it. We're coming at this in this honest way of wanting to be part of a great about say group like musicians, and for whatever our reasons are, if we want to watch or play or wish well, or whatever that energy is, we're using that to teach ourselves, right? And we're using that to teach ourselves with all this good stuff on out in here in the ether. So having said that, we will muck it up sometimes, and we're not going to concentrate on those. We're going to concentrate on our successes, right? So far over the last month, we've had tiny little nice little successes, right? Like for the very minimum is our run. We have yet to miss a day, so that's good. And some people may go, "I think you pentatonic, man. I don't know if you should." And maybe if you do, you should do one. No, we're going to do all of them, and we're going to have it in our head, and when we can pull it out when we need to. You might like one of them better than all the others of them. That's fine. You may concentrate on that one. That's fine. But you're going to know it, just like you know the scales, just like you know the fretboard. And once you know the fretboard and put the pentatonic on the fretboard and then add these chords, pentas are 5, right? Right? So you should be able to go. Ugh. Like just playing those 2 notes. Good Lord. A. This is G. This is G. G flat. A. This is A. This is G. Come on. E, F, F flat, E, F, F flat, G, G flat, A. This is my A flat, B. This is my B, B flat, B, C. I'm sorry. A, B, C, C flat. So this is my A flat. So this is A. This is G. That's not A. What did you just do? This is G. This is A. This is B, A, A flat, B, right? C. This is C flat. All right. So what was I doing? So A, E flat. This is E again. Why am I getting turned upside down? Open E string. This is D. E, F, F flat, G. This is G. G flat, A. G, A flat, B, right? C. C flat. What is this C flat? This should be E. Below this F. This is D. So this is C, C flat. What is my hiccup? Okay, we need to put this down and walk around a second. What is my hiccup? I need to get another board in here. I have scratch paper. Where's my scratch paper? What am I doing? Am I going to use this for guitar scratch paper? Yeah, because I don't want to put it in my guitar book. Where's a pen? Do I want to use a big pen? I'm just messing with myself with the. All right, so it's E string is. Ooh, that's what I bought this for, right? But I didn't put any of the. All right, so what was I looking at? This is only one fret. Okay. I'm actually going to make one of these and put the whole guitar thing on one wall. What was I looking at? I was running into like mental agita with the fret. A. Please, Lord, forgive me. E, F, F sharp, G. Right. So G is the first pip. G, G sharp, A. A is the second pip. All right. A sharp, B. A sharp, B. Right. C, C sharp. Right. None of that is wrong so far. Let's see if we can continue going down here. Because I'm okay, that's C sharp, D, E, D sharp, E. Where am I messing up? It's 8:45. Doggone it, Dougie. All right. I'm not gonna blame you. We were talking about learning all the pentatonics next week. And why once we can mess with that and the notes on the board, we can actually start playing stuff, which I think we're close to doing that. I really do. Especially once we get these 5 chords down. And then once we know the chords and the fretboard and some simple fingering, we can actually start kind of playing stuff or goofing around on our own. And that's when it becomes interesting. I think we might be, let's say 6 weeks at minimum ahead of anybody who just started like we just started. If they did an hour a day, right? God only knows how many hours we have. But today we already have an hour and a half, and yesterday we had like 4. The day before that we had like, I want to say 3.5, and the day before that we likely had, and 2 weeks, like 5 days ago we did 10 hours. So I think we are making fast and furious progress at this thing that we want, and I think we're learning in such a quick and tidy way that if we do pick up some bad things, there'll be easy fixes. Not easy, but no fix is easy. But our fixes will come a little more. Um, our adjustments will come a little more readily than other adjustments. But I mean, to be fair to ourselves, uh, we are what we are, right? So we have to strengthen and get more precise. So just because our head game is great, right? We know the frets, we know the numbers, we know the notes, we know the chords rather. We're gonna learn the notes. C E C E A C sharp, G B G, and B E C sharp. Yep, B E G sharp. Sorry. Um, E A D. Right, G sharp. Um, yeah. So, and I will have to practice not only. I don't need this. We can put this back down here. Uh, put this over here. Wow, running. All right, if I run and did one good, well, but we're doing 2 a days. How about this? Instead of 3 miles, I'm not a young man anymore. Let's just commit to running 1 mile. That's it. The guitar twice a day and a 1 mile run. I can do a 1 mile run, he said, realizing that can't he still do a 1 mile run as soon as he said it? I think I can do a 1 mile run. We want the daily habit of it. We want to burn it. We want to do so many of these daily habit days that no one thinks that we won't be here and thinks that they can't do it. And that's what we want. So remember, some of this talky talkness is for you, but most of it is for me. All right, so I have to. Do we want to crash this thing out? It's 9. We want to make sure Dougie is all right. Okay, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to practice this offline in front of the TV where I can keep an eye on Doug. I feel really super bad that he's in a cage. Let's kill this light. Um, maybe I'll go walk Dougie. Dougie can't walk a mile. He's a tiny little dude. Y'all want to see some Dougster? Let's lower this and expect him to come in here like a friggin' bullet. All right. Dougie Dougster. Dougie Doug. Dougie Dougie Doug. I know. We're very happy to see you, Dougster. All right, people want to see you in the front. We're going this way. Nope, we're going this way. We're going this way. Yeah, we're going this way. Oh, don't make me step on you. All right. All right, Dougie. All right, I know. Hey, baby, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? What are we doing? So, I mean, yeah, there he is. There, yeah, see what I mean? He's doing runnies, and then he's going to be thirsty, and he's going to want to drink, and he's going to mark or pee on something. Why don't we calm down, Doug? Why don't we calm down? Whoa. Your energy. Your energy. Huh? Yeah, I know. You're a good dude. Let's see if we can turn you around toward the cam. Huh? So you scratch him up, show him some lovey love. You give him some of that. You give him some of this. You give him a little rap. You give him a little good dude. You are a good dude, Dougie Doug. Dougie. But he doesn't know how to chill. You have to teach him how to chill. Hmm? Okay. All right. Dougie. Chill, my dude. Chill, my dude. Chill, my dude. Huh? Can we chill? See, he's supposed to be calming down, but he just wants a moment before he loses his mind and runs around again. He gets himself all worked up and then he's going to have to pee. Calm down, Dougie. Your dog should be able to be calm, but you tell them to. And Dougie can't. Huh? Calm down, Dougie. I can see your anticipation. All right, guys, we're gonna end this one, so I guess we're gonna go for another walk. Dougie Doug. I want to thank all of you for joining us today on Dougie Day 2, our 7th day of practice AM. We will be back here tonight to practice some guitar. Oh, wow, look at Dougie. Maybe I'll keep streaming and watch you guys watch him be utterly adorable. Oh, you didn't play with it earlier yesterday. Now you got it? Now you're so happy? Oh, yeah, I know. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. You gonna get it? You're good at it. Now, see, I wouldn't mind him doing that in here while I strummed, but something tells me, yeah. Anyway, there he goes. He finally took it. All right, I want to thank all of you. I will be back tonight to play. I'm going to work on my fingering. That's always important. I'm going to work on my pentatonic before I unleash it on you, just to make sure I know it. I'm going to make some more mock-up fretboards for us. I'll do that today. Do I want to buy? No, I'm going to do that on Bristol board paper. And I'll get some of those Post-it notes ready. And we are officially about to knock this thing clean out the park. All right, I want to thank everyone I want to thank everyone. I wonder what Dougie's in there doing. It's going to make me crazy. And I will see you tonight. Thank you. Look, let me go. Let me look you in the face when I say goodbye. There you go. I will see you guys in the next one. Room temperature coffee. God bless America. See you.